name's Taylor McFarlane. I'm with the McFarlane Field team at Portside Real Estate, and we are out of the Cape Elizabeth office. I'm born and raised in Maine, grew up in Scarborough and then Cape Elizabeth, so it feels like a very natural place to work. Spent a little bit of time kind of living elsewhere, and then it was a bit of a no-brainer to, when it was time to raise a family, move back, be close to family, raise my family here. Awesome place to call home. Hobbies. Pretty much anything and everything outdoors. I like working out outdoors, running, swimming. I was a swimmer in college and growing up, so my husband and I do these outdoor races, swim runs, and so it's open water swimming and running in the Casco Bay Islands. So when I'm not chasing two kids around, I love to be able to do that and just kind of be outside training in any way. Why Maine? I mean, why not Maine? Maine is, I think, a wonderful combination of like a little big city. The whole state feels like a small town. It's a place where I feel like you can feel comfortable, like you know a lot of people, and there's still the ability to meet new people. You're close to, you can travel pretty much anywhere you want in no time with the international jet port. I mean, we walk down to the beach and do picnics on the beach pretty much year round. Nice. We dip in the ocean year round. So it's just a wonderful place to be able to get outside and really feel at home and a sense of adventure pretty much everywhere you go. My dad.
Nice.
I joined my father and his business partner, Nancy Field, about 5 years ago. And they've been in the business here in Maine, the greater Portland, Cape, South Portland area for over 35 years. So it was a wonderful team to join. And we recently added another team member, Randy Farrell. And so now we're kind of a team of four, Jim and Nancy, and then transitioning into Taylor and Randy. Nice. But I moved back from, was living in Louisville, Kentucky for 4 years. I owned a web and graphic design company at the time, and I started doing some work for my dad and Nancy because their stuff was a little outdated. Gotcha. And then I was like, wait, what you do is way more fun than what I do. And so it was a transition that kind of from day one, I fell head over heels in love with it. I've enjoyed it ever since. So the industry over the years, I think, has shifted in a number of different ways. I got into the market and it was super strong, so it was a wonderful time to kind of learn and have all sorts of different transactions. And the pace at the time, what I thought was a very fast-paced market, is now exponentially increased. So I would say the biggest change is just that it's a stronger market, and it's a market we all thought would have been the strongest we'll ever see it last year, and we've been saying that for years now. The most intriguing aspect of the industry in general to me is just people's stories and seeing why they land where they land. What are their motivating factors? How is this move going to change their life? What has their life been? Why are they making this move? And just really getting to know people intimately in a way that I can help them make a decision that will be the best decision for them or their family. And so that to me is like the intriguing part, and the inspiring part is really helping people make decisions that ideally make their life better. And the most intriguing part about the Maine industry is watching our state kind of grow from the in-migration. And a lot of people are worried, I think, about as the in-migration comes and people from New York and Boston and the Bay Area come, will the vibe change? To me, I think Maine has ingrained in its roots enough of the kind of vibe that makes Maine Maine, that when people get here, they learn to take a deep breath. So I think if people are craving to come to Maine, that's for a reason, and they get here and they can leave the city that they come from and the high-strung piece of that behind a bit and kind of adapt to the way life is in Maine. What is the vibe of Maine? The vibe of Maine is, it's relaxed and at the same time motivated. I think people are passionate about really inspiring things in Maine. They're passionate about the success of small businesses. They're passionate about the environment. They're passionate about the ocean. They're passionate about people. They're passionate about making a change in the world for the better. I think a lot of that is really centralized, or it can be centralized to kind of the southern Maine, greater Portland area. And that's personally why I choose to live and sell here in this area. But I think it is a city and a state where people are mindful. They're generous, they're kind, they're laid back. Question of the day. I don't know, my crystal ball is broken. I get asked that question 5 times a day. And my answer is I think we're still going to be in a very strong market. Where we're located geographically, we have enough insulation, and as history has always repeated itself and it will continue to repeat itself, when we look at the Maine market in comparison to other more national markets, every time something dips 10, we dip 5. So I think that our exposure to natural disasters, global warming, erosion, all that, we have like the Rocky Coast. We're not in the hurricane kind of lineup. We don't see tornadoes. So it's a very safe space for people. There's a lot of great education in Maine. I think that those factors are what will continue to draw people to Maine. There's enough restrictions, I think, in many of the towns too, that we're not going to become overpopulated. Boston went up. Portland has height restrictions. So our density is never going to get to a place where I think people feel like they're going to get really pushed out or not want to be there. So yeah, so it's been fascinating. I think actually a lot of the systems in real estate have gotten stronger. A lot of the relationships are more intentional. A lot of the buyers are more motivated. I'm working with a lot more out-of-state buyers than I ever have before. We're being really intentional with how often we are actually connecting face-to-face versus a Zoom versus a FaceTime, something like that. I mean, people are buying without stepping foot in a house. I've sold several properties through COVID where I never met the buyers face-to-face. They never saw the property. They closed on it from a distance. And then maybe a month or 2 after, they showed up for the first time and they're like, I love it. I'm like, thank God. It's like people call and they're like, we don't need to see a house to buy it. Just so you know where we're at, we don't need to step foot in a house to buy it. I'm like, okay. It's not that we've invented anything new. We've just started to rely on different tools that have always been available that we weren't necessarily utilizing, like the Matterport tour, where you can walk through the house and it literally feels like you're walking through a dollhouse. That is that house. And it gives you floor plans and measurements, and people are taking videos and showing you closets in the basement and the things that like they weren't really showing in listings before because they just wanted to attract you in, but now they're really trying to create a realistic picture so that people can make educated decisions. I think it takes passion. It takes consistency, and it takes just showing up. I think consistently showing up for yourself, consistently showing up for the clients. And then when you do that, I mean, you're there, you're doing the work. It's easy to get comfortable, but consistently kind of taking the initiative to get out there, stay on top of the market, know your towns, know your market intimately, inside and out, so that in the off chance that someone brings up a property that sold last week, you can speak to it intelligently and they're like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Nice. So I think that it takes like passionately showing up every day for yourself and your clients, and just knowing your markets inside and out. So you can find me on Instagram at Living a Maine Life. It's kind of my fun little, it's real estate, but it's also how to experience Maine year round and love it. Little shop highlights, fun kind of hidden spots, the best place to catch a sunset, a sunrise. So Living a Maine Life on Instagram. And then my email is taylor@portsidereg.com. And then obviously always have my cell phone on me, 207-233-3933.